welcome to Three Wheels Matter Up to Speed. We've got a triple whammy of great guests in the studio this evening that's just joined us. So before we get on to that, just a little reminder, the motorisle.shop website is open and this is a cheeky discount code for you. So TT 2025 gets you 10% off this nice merchandise that we're modelling here. You've got all the traditional three-wheeling stuff is in there too. So check it out. Take advantage of this discount code TT 2025, or you could even go to the shop in the grandstand if you join us over here at the TT, and you come and have a little chat with us and try the merch on and buy as you wish. All right, so without further ado, Jack Laidlow.
Thank you very much, Hailey Coxon. And we're fighting.
Actually, before I hand over, just need to explain, we're sharing a microphone. Yeah. And the reason why are we sharing a microphone?
we've got a full sofa today. We've got not two, but three. We've got the Christie brothers joining us. We've got Tom, Sam and Adam. How are we doing, lads? We all right?
Yeah, all good. Cheers. All good, thank you.
Welcome to the studio down here at Crogger, which honour to have you three down here. Now, obviously not actually racing at a TT this year, but you are the masterminds behind the CES Sidecar chassis. So you've got 4 on the grid this year. Are you? So what are you doing here in the paddock?
We're just between us offering a bit of backup for all the, well, the teams on our bikes, but there's quite a lot of bikes that we worked on, as well as building from scratch the 4 that are there, and we've got a van full of bits for anything that needs replacing.
Absolutely. I mean, CES is Christie Engineering Services, isn't it? And you basically, you provide for a lot of Sidecar teams in the UK and in the wider world as well, don't you?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of people abroad that they can't get the service over there, so we're pretty much every week sending parts abroad and making stuff to send over abroad. So yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. And like, you're proper old school sort of Sidecar builders. You're just from a garage in Beverley, aren't you? But as you say, you're internationally known.
Yeah, we're trying to expand. So the garage in Beverley is going, and we've moved to a new unit. So yeah, we're trying to expand and make it a bigger business. So
perfect. Well, I like to describe these as like the full set, Hailey, because if you don't know, you've got Sam the welder in the middle, Tom the engine guy, and Adam the electronics man on the side there, isn't it? And that must help when it comes to putting a bike on the road and everything.
Yeah, pretty much from starting a bike from scratch, we'll have it running and dynoed ready to go. So yeah, Sam does all the fabricating and welding, and I'll do the machining, so everything's ready for him to weld together, and Adam does a lot of the design work and assembly. So yeah, it all works, and then yeah, we'll put an engine in it and get it running, and just so our customer can start it on the button and go and race it. So yeah, you get the full package.
Ah, fantastic. And also Adam, so you said that you look after the electronics and stuff here. You've got you're sort of the flagship sort of team running is it the ECU Master, the new system that you're running? To tell a little bit about that.
I started with it last year as a bit of an alternative to the Motec. So spent a lot of hours developing it and getting it somewhere close to running. Started using it in the World Championship, and went really well, and I think I've done maybe 15 systems since then, so yeah, hard work pays off and all that. So
fantastic. And it must be really a great sense of pride having your bikes on the TT grid at such an event, surely.
Yeah, it's a massive thing. Yeah, it's a nerve-wracking thing to start with, but after they've done a couple of years and they're starting to prove themselves a little bit on being reliable from a safety point of view, but being reliable from being able to keep pushing and not hitting limitations. So yeah, it's really good. And especially like with Todd being a newcomer, he's the fastest newcomer.
Yeah, on our bike.
On one of our bikes, which is brilliant. And then Kieran's a newcomer on one this year, so that'll be interesting to see how far he can go with it as well.
Exactly, and you've got those experience behind you, like you say, Todd Ellis and Manuel Clement, 2-time world champions. They're on your CES bike. Did they help develop it at all, or did they bring their experience from the riding F2s to help bring this chassis on with you?
A little bit more, just more with the setup now. The actual build side of it has been built exactly the same as the other ones that we've built, but it's good to work with feedback, with knowing how to make changes and knowing how they fail.
And Tom, obviously you rode with Gary Gibson here a few years ago on the first ever CES racing chassis. Yeah. I did took us down very hill. What was thinking when you think I've seen this from birth?
Just hope it didn't break. No, I was really proud moment, you know. Have these two stood behind me and yeah, set me off down by it was as well as being a newcomer, it was a lot going on, but yeah, the chassis proved itself, and yeah, we had a good first year with Gary and just shy of the 110 mark, and that bike ended up going to Australia, so we built a new one the next year for Darryl. Darryl was a newcomer, and had a good 2 years with him. Last year wasn't the best, but yeah.
No, but yeah, no, fantastic. And so you got your chassis on the grid. You got, like you say, you got the newcomers in and the experience. It'd be really. You got your chassis in very high potential podium positions. So you must be coming into this year thinking, you know, job's on. You know, if you're like the CS, you're going to be everywhere.
Yeah. It's a good spread of riders on them, and like even last year when the Chandlers had one. They went 3 or 4 or 5 mile an hour faster than what they'd done before, so it was good for them to see a progression from the bike that they were on before to riding that. So that was another good thing. So
obviously you ride in world championships, and you've had a long career behind. All three of you have had quite a wealthy and very decorated career so far. We get onto that in a minute, don't you worry. We're not just pushing that aside. But what made you decide to go to start building your own bikes as well as racing at the same time?
It was just obviously our dad built Formula 2 chassis for quite a long time, so I think it was always on the cards to build a Formula 2 first. I don't know what we'll do to think.
Well, from a what's available point of view, the F1s are a bit more readily available. I think the way the F2s were going, you weren't getting as many of there's quite a lot of LCRs obviously, but you weren't getting not as many Bellises and Bakers and MR Equips and stuff on the grid what they used to be, so there's probably a bit more of a gap for us to start in that, and yeah, fortunately it's paid off so far.
So when it all started though, you just sort of you just wanted to build a bike and see how it goes?
Yeah, we started during COVID actually, so we didn't have much to do, so we thought we should start building a bike, so it was all drawn up in CAD, so it started from that, and then just started building it, and we actually started it with a Yamaha in it, sort of for ourselves I think, and then ended up that the Gibsons rode it, so I had a Suzuki in, and that was the first one that did the TT, so that was how it went. Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. And so not only have got your bikes in there, but as you say, you're here as CES Services, Christie Engineering Services.
we get that a lot, yeah.
In the paddock. You've been helping out lots of teams and stuff, but it's all part of the Sidecar community, isn't it? Just everybody's there to help each other.
Yeah. It's we're getting a bit more known now, so people know where to go if they want a bit of help. So even today, I just had a walk around, had a chat with some people, and help out where we can. And yeah, it's good.
Adam, I joined you before when you helped out those newcomers, Steve Belker and Jan Drew the other day. Yeah. They were struggling a bit with the wheels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great to see newcomers on the grid, isn't it? This year, there's 13 newcomers, drivers and passengers in the Sidecar class alone.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, you'd think it's where we're going a bit downhill with people dropping out, but yeah, it's great to see new people coming in.
And so many ladies as well, if I can add in there. We were talking about this last night. The ladies entered in this year too. So it's just looking strong, isn't it, the class? And then looking at pre-TT Classic as well, the newcomers there, getting the 1-2, being on the podium in the first race. Yeah. It's looking strong. But we have to come back to your achievements even this year. And that great picture of you at Le Mans.
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely mega, isn't it? Yeah. Just run, if anyone who hasn't seen it, make sure you follow Team Christie Racing on Facebook and you can check out the pictures on there. But run us through, or just fill us in on the narrative again behind that. It's just a phenomenal piece of history, really, in that picture on that podium.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first round of the World Championship, me and Sam racing and Adam racing with Pekka Pavrinta, and all three of us to get on the podium. First time that three brothers have got on the podium, so yeah, very proud moment for us and making a bit of history and enjoying it. Yeah, it's really good. And then we did the same the week after in Portugal, so
never been done before. Yeah. We did it twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's insane, isn't it?
Not just a fluke. So yeah, 5 more rounds left, so if we get another 5 podiums with all 3 of us on it, it'd be good, yeah.
Mega. And go for it, Jack.
No, I was just saying that Sam and Tom, you finished 3rd in the World Championship last year, and I think you're currently laying 3rd again this year, right?
Yeah, 3rd again now, yeah.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. We sort of felt like we can push on a bit more this year. So yeah, we decided to go for a new bike, and we have improved. Maybe not as much as we'd like, and of course everyone wants to win, but there's just a bit of a gap to the front too, so we're just trying to find any way to bridge that gap and beat them. And
do you think your Christie Engineering Services, do you think that that engineering knowledge is helping develop to try and find this couple of seconds, couple of mile an hour?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We've been, well, for a start, we built most of the bike ourselves anyway. But we've been trying to do a lot of development on the dyno and, yeah, everything that we can, just to try and get every little bit out of everything that we can.
Absolutely. And now, Adam, you're riding with Pavrinter. As I say, you've had brilliant seasons so far, but I would just want to talk about a couple of weeks ago at Donington Park. So Pekka Pavrinter is a World Championship rider. He's from Finland, isn't he? But he decided to come on wildcard the first British Sidecar round at Donington Park.
Yeah, we had a great weekend, yeah. So we was looking at options for him to come to England and race, and we decided to get Sam's old bike out from last year. So yeah, got the entry done and he came over just to get some track time, and he ended up with a 2nd and a 1st, so we had a great weekend, yeah. Yeah, he's a great driver. I knew he has a great feel for driving a bike, so as soon as he got on it, I could tell he was going to click with it, so yeah, it was really good.
And riding with someone from a different country, does it pose any challenges, obviously, because you're English and he's...
No, not really, no.
Did you have to get well?
Yeah, I don't think there's many people understand him, but I definitely know how to understand him.
Both grunt quite a lot.
No, we work really well together. It just works, yeah. So,
and having having a 5-time world champion as your driver must be like a bit of an honour, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I known Pekka for a few years, doing some work for him, and I saw the opportunity to become his passenger. So planted the seed, and he had a bit of a think about it, and he had some good options as well. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but yeah, he decided to go with me, and yeah, it's our 2nd year together, so maybe going into the 3rd as well. So yeah.
So one thing is, we finished 3rd last year, but they finished 4th. So it's another good thing how close we were at the end of last year as well.
Hopefully he's going to swap though at some point, yeah.
And does it ever pose any sort of challenges? Any, is it silent at dinner sometimes when the brothers are beating the other brothers?
Yeah. We had a little coming together last year, didn't we? But it happens when you're racing that close with people, doesn't it? And it was Sam's fault anyway, so...
Is that no comment there?
There is probably no comment.
So just coming back to the TT then, so of course you've been here helping, supporting the teams. You've been experiencing some nice hospitality as well, I believe.
Yeah, the Dawson Camp's looking after as well.
Dawson Camp's cooking for you. But what's the future for the Christies at the TT, do you think? Is it continuing to do what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely like to come back and passenger. So I knew coming over here it'd be difficult watching, and last night I was a bit envious of people setting off down the hill, but yeah, you'll have to ask Sam if he wants to come on it.
At the minute, I've got no intention to doing it. I'm happy doing with what we're doing with the World Championship and the building the bike. So,
and Adam,
yeah, I'd think about it. I'm quite happy with the long bikes at the minute. So it's quite hard swapping drivers and swapping teams. So I think people who have both bikes and the same drivers, it's a little bit easier. So,
So we just obviously we've got 3 magnificent engineerical minds.
Magnificent.
Minds in here. Just talking about how there's new technical regulations coming in with the sidecars. How we've got the standard class and the overall the open class, if you like. How do you think that's going to shape the sidecars in the future and at the TT at the moment?
I think it'll be good. I know there's obviously a difference of opinion, but we race the long bikes and the engines are pretty stock and they've been reliable and the racing's close. So I think that's what needs to happen. There's obviously a big gap from maybe the top 3 or 4 at the TT. And the event they're fast because they're fast riders and they've earned the right to get better machinery. But yeah, something needs to change to get that back. I think you still have the same top three if they're on standard engines, but yeah, having that speed difference is.
You do think something needs to change at the TT? Like
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So, and you think standard engine is the way forward, sort of, or maybe or something like that?
I think so. Yeah, it's got to be better for the sport, hasn't it?
But I think the biggest issue is like for smaller budget teams who have only got tuned engines, you can't untune an engine. You know, if the head's been ported, you can't unport it. So there might be for some people there might be an initial higher cost in going back to the standard, but I think in the long run it'll pay off because they will be more reliable. And like what we found with the long bikes, you're still getting good power out of a stock engine and they're lasting really well. So I think that can only help, and it should bring everyone together a little bit as well.
Now, Adam, as you mentioned before about how the electronics like the ECU Master and stuff like that, is it little tricks like these and little bits external to the engine that people are now trying to experiment with to drag a little bit more power through and
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
a bit more top speed?
yeah, everything's got to be right to get the most out of it, and your data logging and checking everything after your sessions and getting it so he's working right when he's on track. Yeah, so it definitely helps. Yeah.
Now, to get really technical, so you lot have been behind some great, inventions on Sidecar. Most notably, and the one that I've seen quite a lot about in the paddock is something called the X-Pipe exhaust. And now, is it just in your nature just to try and create little bits like that and just try and keep going?
I can't help but try things, yeah.
The conversation at the dinner table just never stopped.
Yeah.
Honestly, all it takes is one of us in a group chat. What do you think about this? It's like, well, that's me not sleeping tonight.
And so stuff like that. It's like external to the engine, try to drag more top speed. And do you think, therefore, if the it's like the Class D sort of go standard, do you think we see more experimental looking ideas and shapes and exhaust systems?
Yeah, I think you would, yeah, because you're trying to get every efficiency out of every part that you can. We found a good gain with the X-Pipe, like you said, over the exhaust that we were running, and then you start changing the airbox a bit and you gain a bit of torque, or yeah, there's absolutely loads that you can look into. And I think in the long bikes you've got a bit closer to a perfect system because you've got less stuff in the way. So I think there's probably a bit more to be had out of the F2s because they are a bit more complex in how you've got to route the exhaust, and obviously the airbox is right under the driver's chin, so you can't have as big a volume.
Well, I suppose with the Formula Ones, like they've been standard for a lot longer, so they've had more time to work on these sort of development stuff. But does that mean that we're going to see a few more bikes passing the Christies, passing CS engine, I said it again, CS services, but you know what I mean. With more ideas sprouting off them.
Well, we always keep trying things. So, like, obviously, a lot of people have seen the X-Pipe, but since we made that, I must have tried 20 variations, and I can't get a better one at the minute. But we are still trying to make something that is better all the time.
Fantastic.
Listen, gents, thank you for coming in. It's really special to have you in the paddock. Look forward to seeing you back here racing potentially. Are you going to add something else?
I was just going to say, since we've got the most unbiased team about, can we get a top three off you?
Absolutely.
So go on then, Tom. What's your top three? Our top three and the standard class winner.
Yes.
I'll go Crows to win. Found second, Birchall third.
And the standard class winner.
I'll go for Todd Ellis. It'd be nice to see you. Yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sam?
Crows, Founds, Crawford.
Ooh, there we go.
And possibly Crawford for the
standard win. And Adam?
I'll go
last but not least.
Crow, Founds, and Todd Ellis for the podium.
Top man, that's another CS on the podium. That'll be good to see, won't it? Anyway, thank you very much. So I just thought I'd be cheeky there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, thanks, gents. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in and sharing more of your story. So that was Three Wheels Matter, up to speed. So don't forget, we got this cheeky plug. TT2025 is your discount code, minus 10%. You can save yourself on this fabulous merch that we are modelling. And of course, you got all the traditional three-wheeling stuff there as well. So go check it out, or go see the team in the shop. If you head into the TT grandstand over the TT period, go and have a little try on and buy as you wish. By the sport or the sport?